The lesson.
Oh yeah.
After that though, you've still released a few bits and pieces since then. So then what was the next thing that you dropped after that?
I did a couple things like I did like a 45 with Mark B called Fresh Wild Flying Bold. I did like a 10-inch with the producer from Melbourne, Doc Felix, and I think I started getting at, as as the name or whatever started reaching other states and producers started being open to like collaborating, but I very much like being in the same room with artists. So then that started to happen more, and I was just working full time, DJing on the weekends, and I wasn't as like all in on the music. You kind of, it was different to when I was 16, 17.
Yeah.
So adult stuff, you start to consider, all right, what am I doing here? Especially as realities of like pursuing music and underground independent hip hop. So I kind of took a bit of a seat back, but in some respects, but was always writing, working on stuff, and then linked up with Must, and that was a few years later we put out the Homeostasis 45, and
And so you guys just did, because you shot a video to that as well.
Yeah.
And so that was just a single, that wasn't part of...
That was on his production album, White Russian.
That's right.
Yeah, so that and Time Wields Everything was the 45, 2 tracks on his album. Yeah.
And then so what year was that?
I can't remember.
That'd
7 years ago or something?
Yeah.
6 years ago, maybe 6, I think.
So 2012, 13-ish.
Yeah, 13-ish. More
like
14,
that, 14.
maybe. I think 14.
Okay, so then you did that, and then what did you do off the back of that?
Off the back of that?
Yeah, what was your next project after that?
After 2000, I can't remember the next project. I think it took me a few years. I was doing some shows, and then I linked up. Must and I kept working, so yeah, we did like more music together. We did another 45 a couple years later. Jewels and Crystals, Metastasis was another 45 we did. And then, Must and I kind of had this chemistry and connection musically that we wanted to keep doing. So we started working on our next album. But in between there, I also linked with Ray West, this producer in New York, and we put out a couple songs here and there. And also a producer from Adelaide, On Attack Kid, who when I heard him, he came out of the blue, and then we just started making stuff, and we put out a record together, Photograph Your Aura, which was just more SP404 like style stuff, and it was cool.
Is that like that lo-fi?
I guess you could
sort
say
of
it's
sound?
lo-fi, like
That's like the term that they're...
That's the term they use, but yeah, like SP404 style, altered tape, sort of baked in a bit, more raw. The tracks are a bit more loose, kind of worked in that he would send me it as is, and I would kind of write to the beats as they were.
Yeah,
it wasn't like, okay, man, here's the chorus, I need 16, 8 bars, 16. It was more like, here's the beat, and then I just
work over the top of
over the top, which was a different style of working, but it was fun. And yeah, we've kept working, but yeah, the dates are all getting a little confusing. But
and then, so why the name Photograph Your Aura?
I mean, we just wanted to, there's a lot of artists I like that have just done different projects under different names, and the name sort of reflects capturing a moment. That's what we were saying, like photograph your spirit in the moment. So it's like a lightning in a bottle, photograph it, here's a snapshot, like a photo works as a still image of people. So that was our spirit, captured on record. That's the metaphor.
The lesson.
Oh yeah.